Good morning. It's Friday, October 14th, and hope y'all are doing good. Looking forward to the weekend myself. I don't know about you. So here we are again. I would like this week to talk about where we're at with our grades for the second exam, or as of the second exam, and then we'll talk more about Chapter 10. So here's kind of an overview for you. I was actually really pleased with the midterm scores. To have 65% of the class get an A or B is pretty good actually, and 33% almost getting an A. That's really quite good. Really, I'm impressed with y'all this term and the work you're doing. Your discussion assignments, for the most part, are thoughtful, and you are clearly reading the material, and I just am really impressed. So just wanted to share that with you. That said, if your total points at this point are less than 157.5 in Blackboard, we should be talking, because that happens to be the line here between the C and the D. And so we have time to get you where you need to be for the term, but we should be talking and figuring out what we need to do. So please contact me if you're in that bucket. Let's see. Also, I wanted to say, for these overall scores, these are as of the grading that I've done so far, and I do have some grades or some grading to do. So I haven't yet graded the first practice case analysis, and some folks do not have Chapter 6 graded either. So if you had Chapter 6 submitted before that second exam, then that score is included in these numbers. Otherwise, it's not, just to give you a feel for what all is rolling into that overall percent there. Okay, so enough on that. Let's talk about Chapter 10. So Chapter 10 is all about the full screen. And so to set the stage here a little bit, we are still evaluating our new product concepts, trying to make some decisions about what our best opportunities are as a company. And imagine that you may have 10 or so different new product ideas to choose from. So the purpose of the full screen is to look more internally now as a company. If you recall, in Chapter 9, we were taking our product concept to consumers and getting input from them. Here we're looking more internally, and we are evaluating our capacity as a company, to develop each of these new product concepts and deciding really which ones are the most attractive. So the purpose of the full screen is threefold. Do we continue on with the product option or not? We want to be able to sort those options, and we want to start talking between departments, all the various players that would bring a product to market, and put all of those various roles on the table as part of the decision. All right, so the full screen. So what you're really doing here with the full screen scoring model is trying to get at which products have the potential to be profitable for you, and which ones are most likely to be profitable for you. And so in order to get at that value, or that score, I guess, because we cannot estimate profit or determine profit directly, we are estimating what our profit potential is based on surrogates. And generally those surrogates are down here at level 4, because really we cannot estimate our chances of being technically successful and commercially successful directly. We actually have to look at surrogates for those, and then surrogates for those. So for example, in the book, one of the surrogates here at level 3 would be, can you estimate your sales off of this, potential sales off of this new product concept? Well, you probably can't even estimate that, but you can look at other factors that would estimate what your sales might be. And so that's kind of where you're going with the full screen. I hope that makes sense. All right, so take a look at the figure 10.4 in your Chapter 10. And notice there's a lot of generic factors there that can be considered by companies in developing their full screen model. The factors are divided into technical and commercial buckets, and they are very generic. So when you as a company are developing your full screen, you would want to have your factors be particular to your company. You'd want to have any particularly unusual factors identified and included in the model. And then you want to be able to assign a score and a weight to each of the factors. It just depends on what you want for your company. So, for example, if I just look at this list of factors here on figure 10.4, I might be looking at technical task difficulty and, let's say, market volatility. So each of those two factors are very generic, and so for technical difficulty, what you might consider there is for this product concept that we're looking at, what's the likelihood that I'm not saying this very well, but how difficult a task would it be to bring this product to market from a technical perspective? And so you might have that particular factor scored on a value from 1 to 10, 1 to 5, 1 to 4. It'll be up to your own company, and there is some subjectivity to that decision. So it's one that companies will develop these models, and then they'll tweak them over time to get them to the point where they're really working for the company. So that might be how you score the technical task difficulty. And then market volatility, maybe that gets scored on a 1 to 8 scoring value, depending on how your company sets up the model. And then between those two factors, so you may think the market volatility is a more important factor than your technical ability to develop the product. So maybe you weight the market volatility with a 10% weight versus a 5% weight on the technical difficulty element. Okay, so just trying to explain kind of how those go together, because you will need to do that for your assignment this week. I wanted to talk about the difference there a little bit. All right, and so then really the rest of the chapter is giving you some different some exposure to different sorts of models. And so the three that are presented for you in the book, you should take a look at these. There's the Industrial Research Institute model, which is shown in figure 10.5. The New Product Studies model, this is a must-meet versus should-meet criteria sort of analysis. And there's some examples, or an example for you to look at in figure 10.7. And then the AHP model is shown up in figure 10.9. And of course, each of these are talked about as well. So know something about those, and just think about those when it comes to your assignment and the scoring model that you want to develop for this assignment. All right, so here's the assignment for Chapter 10. You're going to be looking at the Logitech assignment, and notice that questions 1 and 2 are weighted more. And so I'm going to be a little bit of a stickler here. I want your responses to be specifically showing technical and commercial factors that you would consider for Logitech. I want to see how you'd score them, and if you're going to weight them, well, do weight them, but talk about how you weighted them. These are not ranks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are weights. Okay, so take a look again at the 10.4 model, and you can see that there's a difference between the scores and the weights, and they're used together to come up with a final score for each of the product concept ideas. Okay, I guess that's all I want to say about that. Let me know if y'all have any questions, and I hope you have a good weekend.